and here to kind of witness and see this. It's something that is new and we are learning. So I'm here as a support system.
Thank you. Perdón. Oh, sorry. Miss Valentine es una profesora de psicología en nuestra escuela y ella está aquí como de modo, como un apoyo, ya que esto es algo bastante nuevo en nuestra escuela. Y ella básicamente no va a decir nada, solo está aquí para ver y observar cómo es el proceso. Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Curtis.
Mr. Curtis, I'm the assistant principal over intervention. Nice to have you here. And hola, me llamo el señor Curtis. Estoy un subdirector de intervención y disciplina.
Excelente. Gracias. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and you each will get a moment to introduce yourselves. That's part of the script. At this moment on, I'm just going to follow the script if that's okay. I also want everyone to know that you probably saw it. I am recording this just for purposes of training. So just know that this recording will not be shared with any students. This will only be for training purposes for staff, for Rancho Verde staff. Les quería advertir que acabo de encender la lucecita roja para grabar esta conversación y la grabación de esta reunión solo será para motivos de entrenamiento para profesores en el futuro que quieran hacer algo semejante entre dos estudiantes. Bien, okay. So without further ado, welcome. As you know, my name is Adriana Vargas and I will be facilitating this conference. Now introduce each conference participant. Ms. Wanjohi and Mark, would you mind introducing yourselves, please?
Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Wanjohi, the victim of what happened 2 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Florence Wanjohi, I'm Mark's mom.
Okay, thank you. Y Emanuel y señora Cisneros, si pueden presentarse, por favor.
My name is Emmanuel Cisneros.
Obdulia Cisneros.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all for attending. I know that this is difficult for all of you, but your presence will help us deal with a matter that has brought us together. This is an opportunity for all of you to be involved in repairing the harm that has been done. Muchas gracias por su asistencia. Sé que esto es algo difícil para todos, pero su presencia nos ayudará a combatir con el asunto que nos ha traído juntos. Esta es una oportunidad para que todos involucrados puedan reparar el daño que se haya hecho. This conference will focus on an incident which happened 2 years ago during sophomore year while texting or messaging each other virtually while playing video games. It is important to understand that we will focus on what both Emmanuel and Mark did and how that is unacceptable behavior that has affected others. We are not here to decide whether Emmanuel or Mark are good or bad. We want to explore in what way people have been affected and hopefully work towards repairing the harm that has resulted. Does everyone understand this? Esta conferencia se enfocará en la incidencia que ocurrió hace 2 años durante el año décimo, sophomore year, durante unos episodios cuando los dos estudiantes estaban jugando videojuegos y chateando virtualmente. Es importante entender que vamos a enfocar en lo que ambos, Emmanuel y Mark, hicieron y que es un comportamiento inaceptable y que ha afectado a otros a su alrededor. No estamos aquí para decidir si Emmanuel o Mark son buenos o malos. Lo que queremos explorar es en qué manera la gente han sido afectadas y ojalá podamos trabajar hacia cómo poder reparar el daño que ha resultado. Todos entendemos lo que el propósito de hoy.
Sí.
Bien. Emmanuel has admitted his part in the incident by saying that if he said what Mark says he said, he would like to talk about that. Emmanuel ha admitido su parte en la incidencia y ha dicho que si él dijo lo que Mark dice que él dijo, que a él le gustaría hablar acerca de eso. Mark has also admitted his part in the incident, that he responded to the words said by Mark in a text message and would like to talk about that. Mark también ha admitido su parte en la incidencia y que respondió a las palabras dijo por Emmanuel por modo de un texto y que también le gustaría hablar acerca de eso. Okay, I must tell you, para todos, for everybody, I must tell you that you do not have to participate in this conference and are free to leave at any time, as is anyone else. If you do leave, the matter may be handled by the school disciplinary policy or handled in another way. Antes de comenzar, les tengo que decir que nadie está obligado a participar en esta conferencia y que todos tienen el derecho de irse en cualquier momento. Pero que si se van, el incidente puede ser contratado con por la policía. The disciplinary policy, o que de alguna manera tendríamos que averiguar qué hacer con este incidente. For future use, I will have to translate this in Spanish. Okay, this matter, however, may be finalized if you participate in a positive manner and comply with the conference agreement. Este asunto, sin embargo, se puede finalizar hoy si todos participamos de manera positiva. Does everyone understand? Okay, bien. Okay, we'll start with you, Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Just answer them, okay? Emmanuel, what happened? And sorry, when I say what happened, I mean you as an offender's role. What happened as far as you being an offender?
Me and Mark used to play video games together via a mutual friend. And those video games, I would become hostile towards Mark, say things towards him. I don't hold what I said back then. I don't hold those same opinions today. And yes, I do admit to what was said.
For purposes of specificity, can you specify or remember exactly what you said?
I offended Mark in a racial context.
And what were you thinking about at the time?
I really did not want to play with him.
Okay. What have you thought about since the incident?
Well, I haven't really thought about it at all. To be honest, I forgot about it. It's been a while since me and Mark have interacted with each other. And it hasn't been since now that it's come back up, but I do not hold those same opinions.
Okay. Who do you think has been affected by your actions?
Mark and his family.
Okay. How do you feel, or how do you think that they've been affected?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm sure they felt kind of singled out in this, that it was really targeted towards them as hate, but I can't speak for them on how they feel.
Okay, thank you. Señora Cisneros, ¿le hace falta que le traduzca lo que ha dicho su hijo? Ok, entonces yo le pregunté, y voy a resumir algo. Le pregunté qué pasó y él dijo que hace 2 años él y Mark estaban jugando videojuegos y chateando y que Emanuel fue un poco hostil con Mark. Le pregunté qué estabas pensando en el momento y él admitió que en el momento él pensaba que no quería jugar con Mark y que él le había hecho comentarios racistas hacia Mark. Le pedí por favor que sea específico en cuanto a qué exactamente dijo y solo especificó que eran comentarios racistas. Le pregunté qué has pensado desde el momento que sucedió todo esto y él dijo que honestamente no había pensado nada más en esto hasta recientemente que íbamos a hacer esta junta. Le pregunté quién piensa él que ha sido afectado por sus acciones y él dijo que Mark y su familia han sido los que han sido afectados. Le pregunté finalmente cómo han sido afectados y admitió que seguramente él se imagina que han sido afectados en cuanto a cómo se sienten y que puede ser que sientan que los comentarios que él dijo fuesen de un tema de odio. Emmanuel, is that more or less? Did I do a good job? Okay. Okay, Mark. Mark, now we'll go to you. Okay, Mark? What was your reaction at the time of the incident?
Well, when he first started saying the racial comments, which was like the N-word and all that stuff, he also called me a slave, a monkey, along with his friend Julio. At the time, I thought they were joking. You know, I thought they're just being like really edgy and stuff like that, just trying to piss me off. So I asked them, "Were you joking?" And they said no. I thought after that, I would just end in there, it would be over. But they also continued it. They also continued it at school as well. They also would say it to my face or when I passed by them, and you know, I just did nothing about it.
Okay, thank you. How do you feel about what happened?
First, I was shocked. Then I was a bit sad by what happened because I barely knew him, right? And he was already saying all this stuff to me. And then I felt anger because I did nothing about it.
What has been the hardest thing for you?
Having to live, was it? No. We had like this block schedule together where I'd be in Mr. Robinson's class and you, Mr. Wold. You know, every time I'd see him, I'd be reminded of what happened. You know, just the incident, just keep playing in my head and how I did nothing about it and having to accept what happened.
How did your family and friends react when they heard about the incident?
My friends were in disbelief by what happened, but then again, they also were not that surprised because Emmanuel had the reputation of being that rude towards people and having the past like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Señora Cisneros, le voy a traducir. Le pregunté cuál fue tu reacción en el momento hacia el incidente y Mark dijo que al principio él estaba muy sorprendido de las palabras que Emmanuel y otro muchacho Julio que le estaban mandando por el chat en este videojuego y dijo que las palabras como la palabra que empieza con N en inglés y también le llamaron mono y también le llamaron esclavo y que también estos comentarios también continuaron en persona ya estando en la escuela mucho antes de que estuviésemos en modo virtual. Luego le pregunté cómo te sentías o cómo te sentiste cuando esto ocurrió. Dijo que al principio estaba muy triste, que se sentía muy mal y luego la tristeza se convirtió en enojo, en coraje, porque en su momento él no hizo nada, no lo reportó y que parece que él y Emmanuel tuvieron una clase juntos y que cada vez que él veía a Emmanuel en esa clase, él repetía esas palabras en su mente y le causaba aún más enojo en su cabeza. Le preguntó cuál ha sido la cosa más difícil para ti. Y él dice que la cosa más difícil de todo esto ha sido el coraje de no haber dicho nada ni reportarlo y pensar mucho en las palabras que le habían dicho. Finalmente le pregunté cómo han reaccionado tu familia y tus amigos hacia el incidente y dijo que su familia y amigos al principio estaban muy sorprendidos, pero a la vez que hay algunos de sus amigos que conocen a Manuel que dijeron que no les sorprende lo que había dicho Manuel porque él tiene fama de decir cosas semejantes. Emmanuel, would you say that's a fair translation of what Mark said? Okay. Ahora, señora Cisneros, le toca a usted. Le voy a dirigir las preguntas a usted. I'm now gonna, I'm so sorry, usted no, todavía no. A la mamá de Mark. Mark, Ms. Wanjohi, now I will address the questions to you. What did you think when you heard about the incident?
I know it has bothered Mark, but I didn't know the extent of everything that was said until I guess Mark responded to, actually I didn't even know about the detail of the message until he told me today.
Oh,
So
okay.
I know it has really bothered him about the situation. And I mean, I didn't know what to do or who to talk to or whatever. So I just tried to talk to Mark and, and tell him something, he has to forgive, but don't let it, put him down because it's not his. I mean, the ignorance is on the other person, but not on him. So that's all right.
Okay. How do you feel about what happened?
Well, I don't feel that is right because we are the same person, so the color should not define us. And if that really affects him, what really think that is wrong? Because we all take things differently, and for Mark, it's been hard on him.
What has been the hardest thing for you?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just try to talk to Mark and try to see for him to see things at a different angle and not just to stay on that situation, And that's what I've been doing. But I didn't know, I guess. He kind of been holding it, and I didn't know the extent of it, but I know he'd be talking about it. But I didn't know it's even some place they go to school because I know they were playing game. But I didn't know the occurrence. I thought it was just one time, and that's why I asked him, was he joking? Do you really think he was joking or he was serious? But then, like I'm trying to get to the bottom of it because I didn't know the extent of it.
Okay. And what do you think are the main issues?
I don't understand. The main issues about?
Maybe what do you think is the main issue of the incident? What's the most important part about what has happened here?
Well, I think the main issue is just like both of them, they go to school and they probably other kids going through it. I mean, it's just whoever is doing it to be educated, that is wrong, and don't make somebody feel less like a person just because of their skin color.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Maybe the school can train like the parents or whoever what we're supposed to know in case of something like that happens. Because even, I don't want Mark to go into that extreme that I don't know, he's trying to fight his, battle, but I don't know the way he's doing it. I know it's not the right way to do it. I didn't know about it, so.
Okay, I'm going to translate. Le voy a traducir lo que ha dicho la mamá de Mark. Así que le pregunté, ¿qué pensó usted cuando escuchó lo del incidente? Ella admitió que en realidad ella no, hasta el día de hoy, no sabía la gravedad de lo que había sucedido ni de la gravedad de las palabras que se habían dicho. Le pregunté cómo se siente usted de lo que ocurrió y que ella realmente no sabe cómo sentirse, pero que ella ha intentado, especialmente hoy, hablar con su hijo y decirle que uno no puede enfocarse en lo que dicen los demás y que uno tiene que perdonar y que uno tiene que seguir adelante y no enfocarse en lo que dicen las personas alrededor. Le pregunté cuál ha sido la cosa más difícil para usted en todo esto y ella dijo que la cosa más difícil ha sido hablar con su hijo y convencerle que no tiene que tomar las cosas tan a pecho. Y luego finalmente le pregunté cuál piensa usted es la cosa más importante de lo que ha sucedido en todo esto. Y ella dijo que a lo mejor lo que hace falta es hablar con los padres y hablar o a lo mejor ofrecer alguna clase o entrenamiento para padres para que puedan hablar de estos temas con sus hijos. También el tema de racismo está ahí, ya que a lo mejor también es algún tema que tendríamos que hablar con los padres. Ok, ahora le voy a hablar a usted, señora Cisneros. Ahora sí, lo siento por lo de anterior. Now I'm going to ask Ms. Cisneros directly. Mrs. Cisneros, this has been difficult for you, hasn't it? Would you like to tell us about it? Señora Cisneros, sabemos que esto ha sido algo difícil para usted, ¿verdad? Y nos gustaría hablar un poco de su experiencia.
Es así.
Bueno, y ahora le voy a preguntar, ¿qué piensa usted de lo sucedido?
Verdaderamente, primero, estoy contenta porque hemos llegado a este momento, porque hay muchas cosas que como padres no sabemos de los hijos. Realmente, todo esto que está en la mesa ahorita es para saber porque ninguno de nosotros tenemos derechos para hacerle ofensas a ningún otro ningún otro ser. Y la verdad, yo primero que nada quiero pedir disculpas a la mamá y al niño por las palabras que salieron de la boca de mi hijo. Y realmente no esperaba. Doy gracias a Dios porque su honestidad de él está saliendo aquí a la mesa. Él está aceptando lo que hizo y reconociendo que lo hizo mal. Y quizás a él también se le ha hecho cosas, pero él es un niño muy silencioso. Él se las ha callado. Pero con esto yo sé que vamos a aprender. Tanto va a aprender él. Tal vez no puedo decir de la familia con quien estamos enfrente, pero yo sé que todo es para bien porque en primer lugar a veces nos confiamos como amigos y tomamos tanta confianza que en la confianza salen ofensas. Y ofensas que quedan muy grabadas y que realmente nos pueden dañar. Pero sí agradezco por estos momentos, porque yo sé que a lo que Manuel está diciendo, él está siendo honesto y reconociendo.
Voy a traducir lo que acaba de decir. So Ms. Cisneros just shared, first of all, that she'd like to apologize to both Mark and Mark's mother for the words that came out of her son's mouth. That as a parent, sometimes it's very difficult to know what our kids are doing or going through or feeling, and that she is grateful for this opportunity. She is very happy to be here and that we're all doing this, and that the idea behind this meeting is to find truth and to make better the harm that was made. She admits that her son tends to be very quiet and not say a lot, and so she at first was unaware as well, but that Emmanuel has been honest in telling her what has happened, and she does apologize, and that she's happy to be here today. Señora Cisneros, le voy a preguntar cómo se siente usted en cuanto a las emociones? ¿Cómo se siente acerca de lo que pasó?
Me siento avergüenzada y de verdad, pido perdón a ellos porque realmente no, mi enfoque siempre o nuestro enfoque como familia siempre ha sido enseñar lo mejor a los hijos y honestamente no, pues lo único que puedo decir, agradezco por estos momentos, porque no sé cómo expresar lo que quiero decir.
Mrs. Cisnero says that I asked her, how do you feel about what happened as far as your emotions? And she said that she feels very embarrassed, that again, she would like to ask for pardon, and that she, again, is very content that we are meeting here today. Dos cositas más, señora Cisneros. ¿Cuál ha sido la cosa más difícil para usted en todo esto?
La cosa más difícil, o ¿cómo pudiera decir? Realmente es que también a mí me ha afectado, me ha dolido palabras que vinieron de parte del niño que todavía quizás un poquito más adelante va a salir.
Eso es lo que le iba a decir. Ahorita vamos a enfocarnos en lo que Emanuel dijo, hizo, pero luego ya le vamos a voltear la tortilla.
Ok, sí.
I asked Mrs. Continúe.
Un momento cuando todo esto llegó y yo pude ver esas palabras tan ofensivas, de igual manera me sentí tan herida de mi corazón que yo dije, si mi hijo no tuviera algo detrás de él aconsejándole a lo bueno, él se quita la vida por palabras que están en un mensaje. Anda, abre la puerta al garaje. Alguien está. Perdone, eso es todo.
Está bien. So I asked Mrs. Cisneros, what has the hardest thing for you been? She said, she mentioned that, you know, her family, that they have tried their very best to raise their family correctly and rightly. And she says that the hardest thing was to just realize that all of this had happened. And she also said, and she mentioned, and I did, I guess, let her know, she was starting to mention the words that Mark had texted Emmanuel, and I assured her that we will get to that for the moment we're focusing on what Emmanuel said to Mark. But she did mention that when she saw the message that Mark sent Emmanuel, that had it not been, that with those types of words, had it not been for the fact that Emmanuel has been raised in a caring and loving and supportive family, probably many other kids would have taken their own life by reading some of the words that Mark had sent her son. But I assured her that we will get to that in a little bit. Okay, muchas gracias, señora Cisneros. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading my script. Okay, Emmanuel, is there anything you want to say at this time? Or just anything you're thinking, feeling? Is there anything you would like to share?
I'd like to say sorry and apologize to Mark and his family for the things I did say. Some of the things, honestly, I don't believe I said those at all. Like school interactions. I never found myself talking to Mark or harassing Mark in school. I know I did it on our PlayStation, but I've never said that to Mark in person, nor did I interact with him in the time span that has been years since then.
Okay, le pregunté a Emmanuel si hay algo que quiera decir o compartir en este momento, y Emmanuel acaba de decir que se disculpó con Mark, diciéndole perdón por las cosas que le había dicho, pero sí mencionó que aunque sí le dijo algunas las cosas feas por el PlayStation, por los videojuegos, que él no recuerda en ningún momento haberle dicho ninguna de esas palabras personalmente, en persona, ya estando en la escuela, y que estas cosas ya hace 2 años y que él honestamente no recuerda haberse dirigido directamente a Mark. Okay, so now we're going to kind of circle back around. So now we'll go with Mark.
Can I just say something real quick though?
Yes.
Everything I said, it was the truth. It really did happen. He did take this to school as well. Probably as a perpetrator, he probably forgot it, but I'm not lying when I said that he did it. So don't say that.
Mark ha dicho que él quería también decir algo y que él no está mintiendo, que las cosas que se dijo también se dijeron en persona y que él no está mintiendo. Sorry, let me plug in my computer. Okay, so Mark, now we'll go with you.
Okay.
Mark, at this point now, we're going to kind of literally flip the script. And now you are in the seat of the offender, and Emmanuel, you're in the seat of the victim. Mark, what happened?
It's the whole text message. Yeah, so I was still dealing with the whole incident that happened, right? Like I'm still living with it even 2 years later. I tried reaching out to Emmanuel before, tried to talk to him through social media. He ignores me. And then there's
And I'm sorry, can I clarify, did this, you tried to talk to him through social media like shortly after the comments were made, or is this way later?
Before, like this was like before, like I tried to make like small talk to like try to reach out to him to talk about it. And he just
a little bit after he made the comments.
Maybe like a week or days later.
Okay.
So yeah, we got the information that we weren't going back to campus. I'm still dealing with what happened. I didn't know about the whole restorative circle thing. Like I just knew like I'm dealing with this on my own. It's like I can't get rid of these thoughts that are happening to me. So I thought the only thing I can do now is an eye for an eye, I guess. Just like hurt him the same way that he hurted me. And I know it wasn't right. Like I know it was pretty messed up to say that stuff, and someone can really take their lives. Those words that I said. And yeah, I was in anger. I was just in pain. I just wanted what I felt to go away, but it didn't even really do much for me, I guess.
What were you thinking at the time that you sent the text message?
I thought, well, he used his words with me, so I might as well use my words back at him and see how he feels about it.
Okay. What have you thought about since the incident?
It kind of brings me back to 2 years ago, how he would say stuff to me and I would ignore it. And now I'm saying stuff to him and he's ignoring it. And I'm realizing that I'm becoming the thing that I'm becoming a whole different person than I was 2 years ago.
Who do you think has been affected by your actions?
I would like to say myself as well as Emmanuel and his family. I feel like I lost myself a little bit when I was sending those messages. And I apologize to the family for things like that.
How do you think they have been affected?
Well, as a mother, I empathize with what she's feeling. I understand it must be hard having to see someone send that message to your child and like how someone could be that hateful. So I felt bad.
Thank you. I'm going to translate. Yo le acabo de preguntar a Mark qué pasó. Dijo que, bueno, hace 2 años empezaron los comentarios por los videojuegos y él sentía mucho rencor, muchísimo rencor, mucho coraje. Y luego llegó el anuncio que no íbamos a regresar a la escuela por cosas de COVID y que él seguía con este dolor y este rencor en su corazón y que él sentía que él quería herir a Emmanuel de la misma manera que él le hirió a él. Entonces, por eso, ya que Emmanuel le hirió con palabras, que él también le quiso herir a Manuel con palabras feas también. Le pregunté qué estaba pensando en el momento que puso ese mensaje y qué fue eso, que él quería un ojo por ojo y diente por diente, y que él quería hacerle el mismo daño que él había experimentado. Le pregunté qué has pensado desde el momento desde el incidente, desde el momento que puso ese mensaje. Él reportó que ha pensado que él ha reflexionado y que piensa que él ahora ha hecho lo mismo que hizo Emmanuel originalmente y que ahora él está haciendo la misma gravedad y que no está bien. También él se pone en los zapatos de usted como madre de Manuel y dice que usted tiene mucha razón, que las palabras que él puso ahí es verdad, que fueron muy feas y que es posible que alguien se hubiera podido quitar la vida por las palabras que él puso y que él, él le pide disculpas y que no está bien. Finalmente le pregunté a quiénes han sido afectadas por el incidente y cómo, y él dice que Manuel y la familia de Manuel han sido afectadas por el incidente y que no está bien lo que él hizo. Okay, Emmanuel, we're going to go with you, okay? What was your reaction at the time of the incident? Oh, we can't hear you, Emmanuel.
Now?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Honestly, I'm quite dismissive of that stuff, which is why I withheld it from my mom. She would react to it. I don't.
Can I interrupt you for just, what I'm unclear about is when did that text message come through? Was that, it sounded like that message came through after school was closed, so like probably a year or two after the original incident?
First message, which was Mark saying Happy New Year's, bud, which he mentioned. He was right about. I did ignore that. That happened January this year.
Okay, this year, okay.
Following messages came after.
Okay, so we're talking probably like January of this year.
The message she was talking about that he sent to me, yeah, it was January as well. According to my sister, she received the message as well, late February.
Okay, all right, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that. I'm sorry, so I had asked you, forgive me for interrupting. What was your reaction at the time of the incident?
Personally,
¿Quiere que traduzca? No, okay, en un momento le traduzco. I'm sorry, continue.
I don't hold Mark accountable for this. I know, like, he was acting out of emotion. I know what I did was wrong, and I know what Mark did was just out of reaction to what I did. So I don't hold Mark accountable for anything he said.
How do you feel about what happened?
Like I said, I'm personally dismissive of this stuff. So yeah, I just ignored it and feel anything.
What has been the hardest thing for you?
My mom's experience going through this, seeing that has been the hardest.
And how did your family and friends react when they heard about the incident?
Well, my mom was worried, and my family was they were all concerned.
Okay, thank you. Le voy a traducir. Entonces, a Emmanuel le pregunté cuál fue tu reacción en el momento del incidente, y él dijo que honestamente, en general, que él es una persona que no le echa mucha importancia a cosas de este tema, y que él sabía que esas palabras estaban motivadas por lo que él le había dicho en un principio a Mark. Y que por eso a él no le resultó de mucha importancia, porque él ya asumía que era que Mark se quería desquitar por las cosas que Emmanuel le había dicho en un pasado. Y yo clarifiqué, porque lo que yo no estaba muy segura es cuándo este mensaje de Mark había ocurrido a Emmanuel, y parece que ese mensaje le llegó este año, en enero o febrero. Así que 2 años después del incidente original llegó este mensaje. Le pregunté cuál ha sido la cosa más difícil para ti en todo esto, y él dijo que la cosa más difícil para él en todo esto ha sido la reacción de su madre, la reacción de usted en saber todo esto y haber leído el mensaje. Y le pregunté cómo han reaccionado tu familia y tus amigos de todo esto. Y él dijo que han reaccionado con mucho interés y con I don't remember what else you said, that you've reacted, que ellos que su familia ha reaccionado con querer participar en esto y a ver qué pasó. Ok, ahora a usted y señora Cisneros le voy a dirigir las preguntas. So now I'm going to speak to Emmanuel's mom. What did you think when you heard about the incident? ¿Qué pensó usted cuando escuchó del incidente?
Cuando escuché esto, realmente como no sabía lo que había atrás de lo que mi hijo había dicho, igual sentí mucho coraje. Que cuando usted me dijo que iba a haber íbamos a tener una junta y se canceló, me dije yo, no, yo soy quien quiero esa junta, porque esas palabras que yo acabo de leer son unas palabras de pura basura. Y yo igual pensé, yo no conozco a mi hijo del todo, porque yo creo que como padres no los alcanzamos a conocer lo que es en la casa y lo que es fuera de la casa. Y no sé si él haya hecho algo semejante, pero quiero saberlo. Y más porque no se incluyó solamente a él, sino que el mensaje también vino para mi otra hija. Y mi otra hija, quien recibió ese mensaje, ella sí es muy delicada mentalmente. Y no, estoy muy interesada para poder llegar a aclarar todo esto y estoy contenta de que está pasando.
Okay. I asked her what she thought when she heard about the incident. And she said that at first she didn't know anything about this until I called her and told her that we were going to have this meeting. And it wasn't until then that Emmanuel showed her the text message from Mark. And when she read the text message, she said it was pure filth, what she read. And that Mark had not only sent it to Emmanuel, but also to her other daughter, to Emmanuel's sister, and that his sister is not totally mentally stable, and that she was very upset that that message also got to the sister, to her daughter as well. And at the time that Emmanuel showed her the text message, she didn't know all of the backstory. She didn't know what might have motivated the other student, in this case, Mark, what might have motivated him to do that. But all she saw was the filth on the text message. And then suddenly it went from just being a participant in the meeting to very much desiring this meeting and to get to the bottom of everything and to clarify what had happened. And again, she reiterated how much she appreciates that this is happening. Okay, I'm going to continue with her. Señora Cisneros, ¿cómo se sintió cuando esto ocurrió?
Acabo de decir, sentí mucha molestia, mucho enojo, porque yo nunca he pensado que de la boca de mi hijo hayan salido las palabras que yo vi en ese mensaje, ¿verdad? Pero ahorita con la conversación, de la manera que él ofendió a Max, son palabras diferentes, pero de igual manera son palabras muy graves que le haya dicho a él, cómo lo llamó cuando él, pero lo que no me explico por qué, o sí lo entiendo, tanto él como mi hijo se callaron 2 años, cuando debía haber venido más pronto.
So I asked Ms. Cisneros, how did she feel about this? And she said that that at first when she saw the message, she was very upset, very angry. But that, and then very grateful that this was going to happen. She said that she was in disbelief that the words that came out of her son's mouth could have come out, but that after even just being here now, that she's realizing that they did, and that she is embarrassed by it, and that it's very difficult as a parent to, you raise your child one way at home, but you can't guarantee or know everything that's happening or what they're doing or saying outside of the home. Señora Cisneros, ¿qué ha sido la cosa más difícil para usted en todo esto?
Más difícil. No sé si le entiendo la pregunta, lo que me está preguntando, pero ¿cómo se la respondería? No creo que sea la difícil. Pienso que es la cosa más mejor, yo la llamaría, de poder aclarar, pero a lo mejor voy a cambiar un poquito. Quiero una pregunta. ¿Por qué Julio y Saraí están en medio de esto? Y aquí el afectado está siendo Emanuel. Porque en el mensaje también miré el nombre de Saraí.
Es muy buena pregunta. So I asked Ms. Cisneros what has been the hardest thing for you. She admits that that's kind of a difficult question to answer. She says that actually she'd like to change the question and say, actually, the best thing out of this has been the fact that we're able to talk like this. But she says that she does have one question. She would like to know why Emmanuel is the only one sitting here right now when there's 2 other people that were involved, Julio and Saraí. And that's a little bit off script, but I would like to entertain that question, and I'm going to ask that question to both Mark and Emmanuel. Señora Cisneros, para serle franca, yo también pensé si involucrarlos o no, pero les pregunté a ambos, Mark y a Emmanuel, si sentían que ellos tendrían que tomar parte en esta conversación, y ambos me dijeron que no, que ellos no tenían por qué estar aquí, y por ese motivo no les invité. I just told Ms. Cisneros that I too, if I can be frank, I too thought that maybe Julio and Saraí should be involved in this because their names did come up by both people, but I asked directly Mark and Emmanuel if they should be involved, and both of them in separate, private conversations, they both told me no, that they should not be involved.
I can still answer the question.
Okay, finalmente. Oh yes, go ahead, please. Thank you.
So, the reason why I didn't involve Julio in this is because, well, although Julio did play a part in what happened, it was Emmanuel that had orchestrated all of this. Like, he was the one that instigated first, and then Julio followed after. And like after that happened, I already had like insults back and forth with Julio, so it was then there, it was done. Like, didn't care, whatever. Like, it was still shocking to find out that Julio still did that, because we were, I guess, friends at one point back in middle school. But it's now whatever now. As for the Sari, Sari didn't really play a part in this, but Sari used to be Emmanuel's friend, so something happened between both of them, and she's the one that also talks to me about like what Emmanuel did was messed up, and like the type of person he's becoming, like why they were no longer friends. And I guess I just used it as a way to hurt him, I guess.
Emmanuel, would you like to say anything about that?
I'd like to ask Mark, please.
I'm sorry, Emmanuel, you're breaking up.
I'd like to ask Mark what he was referring to with Sorry, and why our past friendship is coming to life. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
It's like very robotic sounding.
I'd like to ask Mark.
Oh, that's worse.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can keep talking. I can hear what you're saying. It just sounds very strange.
Maybe you could put it in the chat real quick while you're working on your sound.
Honestly, I'll pass.
No, we can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead and talk. You can talk.
I'd like to ask Mark why. I'd like to ask Mark why me and Sari's friendship came into the conversation. I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if you're using your earbuds, maybe just disconnect those and just use the audio on the computer. Oh, no, we can't. Now we can't hear you at all. We could hear your mom though, earlier. Now I don't hear either of you. If it's okay, and Mr. Gertis, feel free to jump in here. Can we wrap up the conversation just focusing for now on Mark and Emmanuel? And then maybe I don't know. In my opinion, okay, because I feel like Julio and Sarai, I don't know exactly. I didn't speak to them, so I don't know exactly what role they played here. But I feel like I think I'd like to move on if that's okay with everybody. Does anybody object? Señora Cisneros, ¿me puede escuchar? ¿Me escucha todavía? Ok. Yo sugerí, honestamente ya está fuera del guión que estoy siguiendo, así que no sé exactamente cómo responder a esto, pero honestamente pienso, en mi opinión, que sería mejor continuar como estamos con las personas que están y enfocarnos aquí entre estos dos. Y si al final sentimos que hace falta tener otra junta e incluir a las otras personas, oh, they disconnected, we can do that. I asked everybody if we could possibly, unless anyone objects, if we could move forward with just the people that are present, wrap this up, and then if at the end we feel like we can't reach any agreements without involving them, then perhaps we need to do this again with them present. But honestly, I feel like we should focus on the two that are here. Does anyone object to that? Mark, are you okay with that?
I feel like maybe we should give them time to come back. I don't know. Should we? Or
I'm sorry, what?
Should we give them time to come
we're
back?
gonna jump. Yeah, well, I'm sure that he's probably fixing his audio and he'll jump back on, but are you okay with moving on without involving Julio and Sarai?
Yeah, well, I was always thinking about the whole Julio thing, like involving him in this as well, but I don't know. It's like, I don't know what good that really do me involving every person that's done something.
Well, because one thing that I might, just hearing you speak when you spoke a little bit ago, one question that I would have is, you mentioned that Julio also made racist comments to you. My question to you would be, I mean, if he made racist comments to you too, why are we only going after Emmanuel here? Why isn't Julio sitting here also and having his parents sit here and be aware of the things that he said to you? Why have you moved on from Julio's comments and not from Emmanuel's comments?
Because, well, I guess.
Because I'm just saying that's why his mom mentioned that.
Yeah, I know. Well, me and Julio, we went back and forth with each other. I said stuff to him. I said stuff to him. It's like, it's done, it's there, it's done, right? I mean, I would like to also have a meeting with Julio as well, but it's like when it comes to terms like who I really have to like blame for this, it's Emmanuel, because Emmanuel's the one that had the issues, not Julio. Like,
and how do you know that?
Because, well, this isn't like something that just happened all in one day. Like, it built up. Like, even like freshman year too, he just we just recently met, I guess, and he just found out that I was Black. And, you know, I didn't really think much of it. And just like days going on and on, it's like he would make like microaggression like comments, which I didn't really think of at the time. I was still thinking like as joking, like call me like a minority and all that stuff, and randomly. So yeah, I just realized until now that Emmanuel
Sorry,
is,
Mark, let me interrupt you for just a second. This is Mrs. Cisneros. Hola, ¿se pueden conectar de nuevo? Muy bien, es lo que me imaginaba. Está bien, aquí estamos todos. Okay, adiós. Okay, she's just letting me know they're trying to reconnect.
should we
I guess,
wait for
Mark, the only thing that I would add is, you know, you may feel like it's over and done with Julio, but, you know, Julio might get something out of the meeting. He might learn something about himself. Like, I think it, you know, it's that idea of reflecting on what you said, right? Like Emmanuel was saying, he didn't think about it, but I think one of the good things about today is I think now he's thinking about what he said to you. And I also think that you're thinking about the response. So that's important too, that everybody learns a lesson and grows from this and becomes, you know, better people as we move forward, right?
Yeah, I'm down to have a meeting with Julio as well. It's just that I didn't want both of them together at the same time.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
true. Yes,
Understand that.
thank you, Mark. I failed to remember that. Mark said, if I have Emmanuel and Julio both at this meeting, it's going to feel like 2 against 1, and I totally get that.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
so they should be connecting. So to be clear, would you like to do this with Julio's family as well? Or
Yeah,
Mr. Curtis, should we do that? Should we go ahead? I mean, I don't know what to do here.
I think right now our main concern needs to be hopefully they rejoin, and then we come up with, I mean, the third part, right? Where what can we do to make it better, and how do we?
Yes, we're right at, yeah, we're almost
And then when we
there.
get
Okay.
then we get past that, I think then later on we could have that conversation.
Okay, sounds good. We're almost done. Okay.
So should I restate what I was saying earlier? What was the question you asked me?
I forgot the question I asked you.
Let's
What
just
were you
move on to
saying?
part 3, maybe.
Wait, but I just want to say one thing to the mother,
Okay,
because
okay.
I understand that her daughter was in mental distress from the messages I sent to her. I didn't really think the messages I sent would have that effect on her, because all I really told her was that her brother was a racist asshole, and that because Manuel at the time was not really responding to my messages, he was just being dismissive of it. So I told her to check him because I wanted someone to hold him accountable. So that's kind of the reason why I messaged her.
That's actually very good to know. Señora Cisneros, gracias. ¿Me pueden escuchar? Okay, and we can hear you. Okay, muy bien, thank you. Mark acaba de compartir. Bueno, primero, gracias por mencionar los otros 2 estudiantes, Saraí y Julio. Y usted tiene razón, ellos también tendrían que estar aquí. Quizás más Julio que Saraí. Y que al final de esto podemos hablar acerca de ese tema y ver qué hacemos. Pero de momento vamos a enfocarnos en los 2 alumnos que están aquí presentes, si le parece bien. Mark acaba de compartir que él se disculpa por haberle mandado el mensaje también a su hija, pero que en el momento que le había mandado a Emmanuel el mensaje, que Emmanuel no le respondió. Entonces, y le molestó mucho que Emmanuel que no le había respondido. Entonces, por eso le mandó el mensaje a su hija, no el mismo mensaje, pero otro mensaje bastante fuerte también, que le avisó a su hermana que por favor le dijera a su hermano que revisara el mensaje, y que él le pide disculpas, y que él, ahorita él precisamente pidió que él pudiera decir eso directamente a usted para que usted supiera eso. Okay, so vamos a continuar. We're going to continue. Okay, now Mark's mom. Okay, so Ms. Wanjohi, this has been difficult for you. Would you like to tell us about it? And more specifically, what did you think when you heard about the incident?
Oh, okay. I know before Mark had mentioned it earlier, and I guess, and then he said he needed closure, and he texted Emmanuel, but they didn't know the extent of the text. I know you called me, and yeah, so I talked to Mark, and he said, yeah, he talked to Ms. Valentino, is it? The name?
Ms. Valentine.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, and then you called me. So that's why I really talked to Mark about it. And he did tell me, he said some mean words, but he didn't know what it is until a few minutes before the meeting. And that's what I saw what he texted. And yeah, I told him you cannot do that. You cannot, two wrongs do not make it right. Because if you are wrong and you're wrong, he's wrong, you're wrong. I mean, seriously, you're not solving anything. And also I told him, I know some things he really said were deep and sad. And he cannot do that. But I hope at this time they will learn something, because I know things happen, but things have to be solved in a right way.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for, I do apologize on his behalf to the family, especially to the mom, because that was not right how he handled it.
Thank you. I'm going to translate what you said. Yo le pregunté a la mamá de Mark qué pensó usted cuando supo del incidente, y ella dijo que honestamente ella no había sabido nada de todo esto, y que luego, ya después de que yo le llamé acerca de esta reunión y le conté que Mark le había mandado un mensaje a Emmanuel, ella confrontó a su hijo y que su hijo admitió que le había mandado un mensaje a Manuel, pero que en ese momento no sabía la gravedad de las palabras que había puesto en ese mensaje, y que honestamente no supo y no había visto ese mensaje hasta unos minutos antes de esta junta, y que ella vio y leyó ese mensaje y que de verdad se siente muy avergonzada, que ella le pide disculpas a usted y a su familia y a Emmanuel. Ella le dijo a su hijo justo antes de esta reunión que dos males no equivalen a un correcto, y que eso no está bien, ni es la manera de corregir a las cosas, ni es la manera de reaccionar a las cosas malas que nos hacen. Así que ella también agradece que estamos aquí en esta junta, y que ella espera que ojalá los muchachos aquí hayan aprendido algo de cómo lidiar con las situaciones en un futuro. Ms. Wanjohi, how do you feel about what happened?
I mean, it's unfortunate that it happened to begin with, and it's also unfortunate about how he responded. So I just hope from here, because both of them have accepted their mistake on their part. So hopefully they'll learn something, and I mean, we just move on from there. They forgive each other, they apologize, they forgive each other, and we move from there. But yeah.
Le pregunté a la mamá cómo se siente acerca de todo lo que ha pasado, y dice que honestamente piensa que de aquí en adelante ojalá que ambos hayan aprendido algo y podamos seguir adelante de una manera positiva, y que es desafortunadamente esto pasó, y que ojalá no hubiera pasado, pero pasó, y que ojalá de aquí en adelante los dos sepan cómo comportarse de mejor manera. Last question, what has been the hardest thing for you?
I think the hardest is just watching Mark. I know I have tried to talk to him over and over about the incidents, because you come back and then you bother him again, and then we talk about it. I mean, that's been the hardest part. And I just hope from here on, he'll be able to start his healing and move on.
Le pregunté a la mamá qué ha sido la cosa más difícil para ella en todo esto y dice que lo más difícil ha sido ver a su hijo triste y afectado, pero que ojalá de aquí en adelante él pueda abrirse y hablar de las cosas y saber cómo poner un paso adelante.
And I also talked to him about the details because I know the message it had some, and I said, you don't know the other person who is receiving, you don't know their mental status, you don't know how low they are, and there are some things you don't ever, I don't know, sometimes because we're driven by emotions, but there's something you have to control your emotions and don't write something like that to somebody because it wasn't right. So I'm not really justifying how he responded. I know whatever was done to him was not right, but even how he responded, it was even wrong to the other person regardless.
La mamá, thank you for that. La mamá quiso agregar también que ella habló con su hijo y que aunque las palabras que le habían dicho a Mark fueron feas, que las palabras que Mark también puso también eran feísimas, que hay algunas cosas que jamás en ningún ámbito se pueden decir y que uno tiene que controlar sus emociones y no dejarse llevar por las emociones y que de verdad hay cosas que en ningún momento, bajo ninguna circunstancia se pueden decir. Y esas fueron las palabras que su hijo incluyó en el mensaje y que no fue lo correcto y que en adelante no se puede actuar de esa manera. Okay, so wrapping up, Mark, is there anything you want to say at this time?
Like ask or just like say?
I'm sorry, can you pull your...
I'm sorry, like ask or to say?
No, say. We'll get to that in a moment. But is there anything else you want to just get off your chest at this time?
Yeah, just, like, I know I try to move on from it, right? To be able to let go. It's like some things I try to, but other times it's like, sometimes part of me thinks like, what if I had just had fought Emmanuel after that, after what happened online? And maybe then everything would have went away, but I didn't, thankfully. And, I thought I had that regret though. Like I felt like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. And I guess when sending those messages, it's just like a way as like an alternative. Because a part of me wish I'd done more than just move on and let go, I guess. So I apologize again.
Thank you. So Mark, yo le pregunté, ¿hay alguna otra cosa que quieras decir o quitarte de encima del pecho? Y él agregó que realmente él le molestó muchísimo los comentarios que le había hecho Manuel y que en su momento él a lo mejor se hubiera peleado con Manuel físicamente. Pero él dice que gracias a Dios, bueno, que no lo hizo de esa manera, pero ya que no se peleó con Emmanuel, que él tenía años llevando eso encima y pensando y siempre tuvo el remordimiento de nunca haberle confrontado a Emmanuel las cosas que él le había dicho. Así que después de esos 2 años de ese remordimiento, fue ese el motivo de mandarle esos mensajes, pero que en realidad, pensando en todo esto, le quiere pedir disculpas y que se arrepiente de haber mandado ese mensaje. Okay, so reaching an agreement. So this is the part now where we talk about really, now that all sides have spoken and everything's been said, we need to repair. This is all about restoring justice and repairing harm. En este momento hemos llegado al momento de la reunión que en realidad es el objetivo de hoy, ya que ambos lados han dicho todo lo que han querido decir, han expresado sus emociones y su experiencia en los incidentes. Ahora vamos a progresar y ahora les vamos a llegar, ojalá, a un acuerdo de cómo podemos reparar el daño, cómo podemos llegar a un acuerdo para llegar a la justicia, para que ambos lados puedan seguir adelante de una manera positiva y sentirse bien. Así que, Mark, now's the question. What would you like from today's conference? And if you need me to rephrase that question,
Please do.
what would you like from today's conference? What would you like for Emmanuel to do to repair harm so that you can move forward and feel better and feel like the harm has been repaired?
Well, Miss Valentine was also telling me about that as well, like the things that Emmanuel could do to make it up to me. I forgot what it was. It's like, write like a, what was like a paper or something like that, Miss Valentine? Like an essay or something like that.
I was just saying like almost an apology letter.
Yeah.
Create some kind of closure for what happened to repair those feelings.
Yeah, I would like I think a handwritten apology letter would. A handwritten apology letter would be fine, I guess.
Okay.
Is that right?
So now I will ask Emmanuel, what do you think about that? Okay, we can't hear you, but I did see your mouth said I'm all for it. Okay, hopefully we fix your audio though, because then I'm gonna ask you the same question in a second. Okay, so señor Emmanuel, yo le acabo de preguntar a Mark qué quiere él de esta conferencia, qué le gustaría o qué piensa él que pueda ser una idea, una cosa que Emmanuel pueda hacer o decir para reparar el daño que él le hizo a Mark, y Mark sugirió, y para que sepa, él había consultado a su maestra aquí, Miss Valentine, algunas ideas de que pudiera ser una buena idea, y que él le gustaría que Manuel le escribiera, que él quiere que Manuel le escriba una carta a mano pidiéndole disculpas. Y yo le pregunté a Manuel si le parece bien, y Emmanuel le dijo que sí. Okay, so just to be clear, and I'm going to write this down. Esto lo voy a escribir. I'm going to put it in an email, and then I'll send it to everybody, and that will be our agreement. So give me just a moment. So Emmanuel to Mark, a handwritten letter, handwritten apology. Under the circumstances, how would you like that handwritten letter to be delivered? I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing your address, or is that something that Manuel should send to the school and you'll pick it up at school? Or maybe do you want to reconsider the handwritten part and make it something that he types and he can email it to you? Emmanuel, can you check your,
scan it?
or, oh, there you go. I'm in the dark ages. You can write it by hand and take a picture of it. Duh, sorry.
I can scan.
You can give it to the school. I guess that's fine.
Okay, well, Mr. Gertis had a good suggestion. He said
Oh, well.
Manuel could write it by hand and then scan it or take a picture of it. And then maybe, Emmanuel, you could email it to me and I can email it to Mark. Is that okay with everybody?
That's fine with me. You okay with that?
Or do you want to email to you directly?
What do you want?
What do you want, Mark? Yeah, it's what you want.
I'd like the handwritten, if I'm being really honest.
Okay, then he can handwrite it, give it to you, and then Mark will give you the address if that's okay with you.
Okay.
I'm just because of, I'm just gonna need to interject here. Just because of what's going on with COVID and things like that, they may not feel comfortable bringing it to the school.
Okay.
But I think it's fair if he hand wrote it and then took a picture of it and scanned it. You know, I mean, the handwriting part is really about, it's putting in that little personal touch, right? And a little bit of effort that will still be there, I think, even if he scans but I don't know, Mark. I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's for COVID. I guess that's fine.
And if you wanted to, you could print it if it's a matter of like having it and that's gonna help.
Yeah.
You could print it. I mean,
As a
I don't know,
reminder.
Mr. Curtis, I guess we could print it at school
Yeah.
and he could pick up
Yeah.
printed copy at school. Okay, so to be clear, handwritten apology. Emmanuel will take a picture of it, take a pic or scan. And Mark, will he be emailing it directly to you or to me and then I to you?
You can email it to you, then you can email it to me.
Okay, so Emmanuel will print, take a picture, scan, and email to Ms. Vargas. Okay, and then by when? We need a date when.
I'll give him a week from now.
Okay, so a week. So next Friday is, technically, I mean, at least, I don't know, I'm Catholic. Next Friday is like all next weekend is a holiday. And
So when we come back from school then, or?
yeah, could we do that? Since technically it's spring break, can we have it due by Tuesday the 6th?
Yeah.
Okay, so by April the 6th. Emmanuel, if you want to have it done before then and email it to me before then, that's fine. But please by the 6th, if you don't get it to me by the 6th, I'll just call you or your mom and just ask about how it's coming along. Is that okay? Can we agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, anything else, Mark? Anything else that you would like from today's conference?
I'd just like to ask Emmanuel just one thing though. Just why did you do it? Like, you barely knew me. You just found out I was Black. But why did you say the things that you said?
Look, man, I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago, but you're right, I did do it. And I may have thought it was funny, or I may have done it out of spite for you.
Spite for me for what though? Your audio is cut off.
Oh.
Played video games together. That was my only interaction I had, the true interaction I had with you. That's all I can tell you. I can't.
You knew, you met me before the whole video game incident. You met me before. You knew, you found out that I was Black, and then
Look, man, I didn't know you. What I'm saying is that was me from 2 years ago. I can't tell you why I did the things 2 years ago. I don't agree with the things I did 2 years ago. Not at all. And look, man, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
But
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm glad that, Mark, you got to ask that question, and thank you, Emmanuel, for responding. Okay, now we're gonna literally flip the script. Emmanuel, what would you like from today's conference? And I'm specifically referencing, to repair the harm that you may have felt for either you or your family in regards to the text message that you and your sister received. What would you like from today's conference, or how would you like for Mark to repair the harm?
I don't need anything from Mark. I just an apology to my sister. That's all I ask.
Okay, how would you like that apology delivered?
Right here, you could just tell her.
Hi. I'm sorry about the message I sent you. I didn't realize it was that destructive. I hope you're okay. What'd you say?
Is that satisfactory?
I thought it's okay.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you would like from today's conference, or that you feel that Mark can do to repair the harm?
No, for me, I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, before I prepare the written document, I'd like to make sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Señora Cisneros, ¿le hace falta a usted que yo le traduzca todo lo que ha sucedido ahorita?
Solamente una vez más quiero decirle a Max y a su mamá muchas disculpas, y realmente sí me gustaría a mí saber que ellos, si no tienen una mala relación, si no tienen una muy buena, tampoco una mala, sino que o mejor dicho, si no han sido amigos o así, pero que nos puedan confiar como a ella, a su hijo, como a mí, él, y que no volvamos a mirar esas cosas en ellos, no nada más para ellos, sino con sus más amistades que tengan, porque nosotros como mamás, realmente esto para mí es aprendizaje de que nunca podemos saber, como dijo él, en su enojo hubiera podido golpear a él y pudiera pasar con otros niños. Y nosotros queremos tener paz como mamá. Y yo le digo, I'm sorry a su mamá y a él también. Y es un agradable joven.
Okay, so I had asked Ms. Cisneros if she would like for me to translate anything that we just talked about. She said no, she doesn't need a translation, but she just felt the need to share that again, especially to Mark and you, Ms. Wanjohi, that she feels very sorry, and that she hopes that moving forward that these two young boys don't necessarily have to be friends, but if we could just, she hopes that we could all move forward in a positive manner, and that even moving forward when they talk with their friends or the people around them, that we can speak about each other in a positive manner, and that especially us as moms, and she's referring specifically to you, Ms. Wanjohi, that we just want peace and we want what's best for our children. And that again, she is sorry for what happened, but that this whole experience has been a learning experience for her. Okay, so I like to make sure that I have accurately recorded what has been decided. So again, Emmanuel to Mark. Emmanuel will write a handwritten apology. Emmanuel will write it by hand, take a picture or scan it. You will email it to me. And I think you have my email. If not, I'll email you I'll email everybody with this. You will email it to me, if not before, but by the deadline of April 6th. If I don't receive it by April 6th, which is the first day we get back from spring break, I will get in contact with you and ask you about it. And then I will forward that to Mark. Let me write that down and then forward to Mark. Forward to Mark. Mark, would you like for me to leave you a printed copy of this at school and you pick it up, or you can just print it yourself at home?
You can just email it and I'll print it.
Excuse me, can I excuse myself for a minute?
Oh yes, of course, we're pretty much done. And then Mark to Emmanuel. Emmanuel had said that he is fine, he doesn't need anything, but he did ask please for an apology to his sister, and Mark apologized to sister, and she accepted the apology.
I don't know if I should.
So we're done. There is no more questions here. Before I formally close this conference, I would like to provide everyone with the final, never mind. Before I close this conference, I would like to provide everyone with a final opportunity to speak. Is there anything that anyone wants to say? Let me translate that. Antes de cerrar esta junta, ya hemos aclarado los acuerdos de cómo reparar el daño que Emmanuel le va a escribir una carta a mano disculpándose por el daño que le había hecho a Mark. Emmanuel va a tomar una foto o escanear esa carta y me lo va a mandar por correo electrónico a mí. Y lo tienen que hacer, si no antes, pero para la fecha del 6 de abril, que es la fecha que regresamos a clases, y que si no lo hace para esa fecha, yo ya me comunicaré con ustedes para ver cuándo podemos esperar esa carta. Luego yo le voy a mandar esa carta virtual a Mark y que a él le gustaría imprimir y tener esa carta a mano. Luego, Emmanuel, Mark hacia Emmanuel. Emmanuel le dijo que a él no le hace falta nada, solo le gustaría que Mark se disculpase con su hermana. Mark se disculpó, su hermana aceptó la disculpa. Y ahora en este momento ya cerrando esta reunión, pero antes de cerrar la reunión, me gustaría, antes de cerrar formalmente, me gustaría darle a todos una oportunidad final de hablar o decir lo que tengan que decir antes de cerrar. So at this moment, is there anything else anyone wants to say?
No, I wanted to say this earlier, but you know, it's everything going on, everything. I just wanted to thank everyone. I thank the family of Emmanuel, thank the administration for all this. And you know, at first I thought I wasn't able to like really let go of what happened, but you know, I can't change the past, right? I can't change what happened. Like what happened. Like I feel like now I can finally bury it and move on. It's our lives. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We are here to like to, you know, thank everybody and thank you for the administration too and the family for being here.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully we'll move forward from here.
Ambos han dicho que les quiere agradecer a todos por su asistencia hoy. Mark en particular ha compartido que él entrando a esta junta sentía que él jamás iba a poder renunciar a sus emociones y echar por un lado lo ocurrido, pero ya después de esta junta se siente mejor y que agradece a todos su participación, a ustedes, la familia Cisneros, a nosotros como la Facultad de Rancho Verde. La mamá también agradece a todos la asistencia y que ojalá todos podamos salir de esto con una mentalidad positiva. Anything else for the good of the order?
Yo también sí digo muchas gracias. De verdad que me gusta que todo obra para bien. Si esto no hubiese pasado, hubiera habido algo oculto todavía. Y doy gracias a Max por su honestidad, de verdad. Y le pido que sí quite de su mente, aunque ya pasó mucho tiempo y lo fue afectado, pero quite de su mente las palabras que él escuchó y que honestamente él es único. O sea, cada uno somos únicos y él es muy especial y Dios le ama mucho. Dios les bendiga. Sí, también ustedes.
Gracias. Mrs. Cisneros would like to also thank everyone for being here. She specifically would like, and she's grateful that all of this happened because honestly, if this meeting didn't happen, all of this would have been in the dark and that nobody would have known what happened. So because of that, she wants to recognize Mark's bravery. She also wants to recognize Mark's honesty and thank you for bringing this up. And she also has a message for you that she hopes that after this moving forward, you're able to take those words out of your head and move forward. And she wants to remind you that you are unique and good and that God loves you. Okay, anything else? Okay, personally, I would like to thank everybody. This is the first time that I do this. I have always felt very passionately about this sort of conference, and this has been an amazing experience on my part. And I agree with Mrs. Cisneros. Mark, thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for voicing, and it doesn't matter how much time passed. If we feel a certain way, we need to speak up, and you did, and so few people your age do that. So thank you. I also want to thank Emmanuel for your honesty, for your willing to participate, because I did tell you you didn't have to participate and you still chose to. So I also thank you. And I am very grateful for both families hearing each other, listening, being respectful, and reaching an acceptable agreement.
May I just ask a question, please?
Let me just translate what I just said. Así que les quería agradecer. Bueno, yo honestamente también quería decir algo, que yo estoy muy agradecida de esta experiencia. Es la primera vez que yo he sido la moderadora de este tipo de conversación y que ha sido una experiencia única y muy bonita, y que igual que usted, señora Cisneros, estoy de acuerdo de que agradezco mucho la honestidad de Mark y su coraje en decir algo finalmente y que no importa los años que hayan pasado, si hay algún daño, hay que decir las cosas y ser claro. También le agradezco y reconozco que Manuel, yo cuando hablé con él, yo le dije que él no tenía por qué participar en esta reunión y sin embargo, aquí está él. Así que reconozco también su coraje y su corazón por haber participado y también ser honesto, y que finalmente agradezco a ambas familias que hayan participado y que hayan escuchado a cada lado con mucho respeto. Así que muchísimas gracias. Mark, last thing, even technically you already said your thing.
No, I think I'm good, actually. I think I have my answer, but thank you again. For everything.
You are welcome. If you have, to both sides, if you have anything else that you would like to say, you can email me or Mr. Gertis. Mr. Gertis is the assistant principal in charge of intervention. So if you have anything else that you might like to say or do, please communicate with him or myself. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording. Stop recording.